and welcome to episode 48 of Crewe Alexandra Youth Squad Legends. Now I said at the end of last season that we're going to have an episode where we do a very extended squad report and talk about the good and bad players of the season. Now this is the first of its kind, and I'm expecting, because it was such a runaway success, I guess, with the progress save and the little season review that we do at the end of that series, that we can just chill out. We can talk about players in this series. You don't need to watch this episode if you don't want. If you think you're getting enough YSL content, obviously I've got the Wickham series going on now, then you can just skip this. Maybe catch up with the Wickham series. That's going to be uploaded very frequently. It will not have the quality of the Crewe Alexandra series because it won't be edited. Said very, very early in that series that it's a live stream series, so you expect that you're going to get a lot of episodes. Probably, and it's possibly going to end up being 100 plus episodes of that. Maybe 200. I don't know. But since every single game's an episode, then yeah, it's going to be up triple figures. Crewe Alexandra, it's a very condensed 10 minutes, 15 minutes of me edited to a certain standard. Apart from these episodes where I can be a bit loose and be just myself. Be a bit truthful about these players. Let me take a drink. I think that introduction went swimmingly. So first off, Donald McMahon in the net. His overall is 60. He's gone up by 12. And we look at his stats here. 23 appearances, 7 clean sheets. An average rating of 6.8 through the competitions that he's played. One appearance in the Checkatrade Trophy, his average, his rating for that game was 5.7. Not good. I'm presuming that is the game where we lost and we got knocked out of the Checkatrade Trophy. Let's have a look at his stats before we move on. His best stats, diving and reflexes down there in the goalkeeping section. Obviously, he's a goalkeeper. Would be surprising. Now, actually, I'm going to come clean, right? I'm doing this like I'm stepping back in the past. Because you guys already know that the live stream for the pre-season of next season has already been uploaded. Even though I haven't actually recorded this. I felt last night was the best time to do that because I had a little bit more time. I didn't feel that tired, and so we just smashed it, and I think it's nearly 4 hours long, that stream. By all means, try and catch up with it. It's absolutely quality. If you can't, I understand. I'll try and get as much information as I possibly can for the next episode of Youth Squad Legends so you don't feel like you've missed anything. So there's Donald McMahon. Yeah, not a bad goalkeeper, 60. I made some terrible mistakes. Let's just put it that way. He made some terrible mistakes, but I've definitely had worse keepers. Then Owen Thomas, the legend that is, he's played 35 times this season. We haven't seen all 35. Of course, we simulated a lot of this season. Quite a decent portion. There's his attributes. Acceleration, 78, his best stats. And then his sprint speed, 75. Probably what makes him a good wing back. His speed, and he's always had that speed. So he's had 8 clean sheets in the league, 9 in total, 1 in the Checkatrade Trophy. You see, we've not been able to keep clean sheets that often, I've noticed. We just, we seem to either switch off, concede early. It's basically the majority of our goals conceders are either one of them two, like switch off when we're 3-0 up, or concede early and try and fight the game out of the control of the opposition. Here's Donald Fanning. His average rating is ridiculous at 7.4 over 12 games. He's just turned 57 overall and he's gone up by 10. This is what I really wanted to point out. If we go back, the people who remember really good memories will have a look at these board expectations and see that we weren't able to grow 2 Youth Academy players by at least 10 overall points, play them in 5 matches, either as part of the starting 11 or coming on as sub. Now, this is 1 out of 2 complete, even though we know we've completed them both. And why is that? Why is that, guys? Donald McMahon was the first player that we promoted, grew up to a 10 overall, and then played him accordingly. You see, I figured this out, and it's absolutely stupid. Really is stupid, that objective, because what they're trying to do, like, believe this, lads, what they're trying to do is get you to grow the player by 10 overall and then play him in 5 matches. So his development going up to a 57 overall, Donald Fanning's development from 47 to 57 does not count. All the games they played does not count. We weren't able to completely objective, even though we should have been able to completely objective, because let's be honest, even though we haven't played him as a 57 overall, he has played more than 5, 10, how many games they wanted from us. Anyway, it's just one of them things. The objectives for next season, like, not that bad. I can spoil that for you because, I mean, they're kind of in the distance, really. People have understood and now know that the objectives are not as dangerous as what first feared. So if you're basically missing a critical target, you could still keep your job. Like, people are realising that now. So here is Danavis Macias. Keep on saying Macias. It's a long process to change the name of the player. Danavis Macias, my goodness. 68 overall, gone up by 1. He's played 38 times and, well, he's our best defender. He really is our best defender. He's pretty much incomparable. Donald Fanning, very good. Like, let's not put him out of the question for best defender. He's been here for a very short time. He's been great. He's only 57 overall. But Macias is still holding that crown. His best... Oh, excuse me. Oh, a little stretch. His best attributes, we've got 79 on the jumping, 77 on the sprint speed, and a couple of technicals right there, marking and slide tackle. Then got to Liam Rose. Wasn't able... You see, the objectives that we've got, he wasn't actually like a part of the objectives because we got him last season, I think. Anyway, he's one of these players that has just come in, done a job, and I really like him. He's so consistent for a 60 overall in the class of the league that we've been in. He's 60, he's gone up by 10. He's very happy at the moment. His valuation is blossoming. And so is his stats. His stamina's gone up to 73. His sprint speed's 76. Just point that out again. A bit of speed on these wing backs and it helps a lot. Because his technicals, before I started pushing these technicals, you probably could guess if you like took 29 off of 62 and 19 off of 66, 19 off of 65. They're pretty dire. Pretty Nathan Dyer. Yeah. Pretty Kieran Dyer. On to Vasil Malachias Jr. Now I'm getting mixed up, confused. It's nice to see him grow a little bit. He stuttered last season because he had that injury. And because he's played more games this season, 30 in total, 5 clean sheets, 1 assist, 2 goals. He actually scored more than he assisted. Now that he's played more, he's growing. And because of him not picking up the injuries, his physicals started developing again, and it's just nice to see. I have no plans of getting rid of him because he has just been such a solid player for me. And in the pre-season live stream, he plays a pass out to the wing, what's just ridiculous. And this guy's only 65 overall. He's 21. He's not going to develop into much. I don't think I'm going to train him that much either because I think it'd be pissing into the wind, basically. You know, I can't see me training him up to be any positive at all because we'll never get him to an 80 overall. But he's still going to be at the club when there are 80 overalls around him. Maybe not playing every single game. We will find a central defensive midfielder that's better than him, no doubt. But we want him at the club. And he's got a great chance. So his best attributes is acceleration and short pass, both at 72. Wayne Hunt's another one. Like, he's 21 years old. We can't develop him into much. But he's been such a solid player for us when we've needed him that I don't really want to get rid of him. So agility 71, balance 71. He's played 18 times, 4 assists and 6 clean sheets. Nils Bullock. Very, very strange player, him. I mean, you play him in centre mid, and yeah, he's just like a normal central midfielder. But there's something about him and the wing. Sorry about my chair being all noisy. Just always noisy. Ugh. There he goes. Anyway, Nils Bullock, winger at heart. Acceleration 69, sprint speed 76. Not the quickest. Does well. Strength's a good factor, and it helps out his lack of pace. Jumping at 62, good. He scored one of the best goals you're likely to see. I think it was the back end of last season with the Zidane volley on the left foot. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So that is Nils Bullock. He's played 35 times. I've really lent on him. I've been prepared to take the risk of putting the central midfielder out wide, even though we have got someone like Forrester who's got more pace and can whip in a better delivery. I'm sure his crossing is better than 58. Now Mauricio Farias, a part of the team, guys. He is a part of the team, and I don't know where this guy's going to go. I mean, he's 21 years old. Okay? So he's already starting to slow down in development. 21, 22 is the part where you really get to know what kind of maximum, the ceiling that your guy can go to. So I'm thinking maybe if we train him a little bit, 80's not going to be a problem. I personally don't think 80's going to be a problem on this guy. Especially because we can train his finishing up quite easily. He's only a 71 finishing wise. And that's actually been boosted massively. You can see it's grown up by 4. And that's been boosted massively since we've actually bought him. I think his finishing was, I think about 60. Is that right? No, plus 6. Take that down. It's 60. It was 65. So that's gone from 65 to 71. He's gone up by 4, 72. If that finishing goes up to about an 80, that overall might be about 75. Yeah. His appearances right here. This is obviously when he joined from Las Palmas. Okay? So 12 games from joining. 4 goals, 3 assists, 7.5. Good. And he was a great partner to Mr. Vincenzo Bonaventura, who went up by 10 this season. And the stats just show how good he was. 46 games, 29 goals. That's obviously a strike rate of less than 1 every 2 games. With an average rating of 7.4. And we only bought him for £500,000. His stats are just going up everywhere. And I'm really, really pleased. He's only 20 years old. There's still plenty of growing on this player. His physicals are going up. Stamina's a great one to see because his stamina is very poor. Doesn't matter about his strength because I think the ball control and dribbling helps him out there. Shot power's great at 83. Think I might have trained that up though. No. Does shot power go up with chance creation? I actually don't know that. But there's the stats for our main man, this season's star player, Vincenzo Bonaventura, and he is excellent. He was really good, especially the goal where he got it from the corner, drove past about 5 players and then bent it opposite corner. An excellent goal, especially for League One. Maybe we have another drink before we get on with this. Ludovic Payar. He's now an overall of 60, gone up by 2, only played 5 times, but he has the potential to be special. We have that status now. So we can really see, we can really concentrate on what is going to happen to this guy, and especially what's going to happen to them physicals. Because this is the first player I can think of that I've got to a 60 overall, 16 years old, in this game. Now, I remember testing it out for the first ever FIFA 17 video that I gave to you on this channel. What I did, Origin Access on the PC. And I remember, I'm pretty sure that they do grow in physicals. But he hasn't yet. We're still waiting. What's going on? Is it going to be... Well, to be fair, he's a centre mid. But we need them physicals to go up, because he might find himself not getting into a centre mid role because his strength's not there. He wants to be playing out on the wing, but his acceleration and sprint speed's not there. See what I'm saying? He's 16 anyway, there's plenty of time to develop. Juan Manuel Rico Gonzalez. I've got good, really big hopes for this guy in the future. And you guys might think, this guy is terrible. And sometimes you're right. Yeah, this guy is terrible. Well, let's just point out his finishing. I knew this guy had a potential. Alright? This guy did have a potential when we brought him in from the free agents. So I'm thinking to myself, instead, you know, when I was talking about pissing in the wind, I don't actually want to be overdoing it in players that are actually going to go to 80 overall anyway. I know for a fact from now until Juan Manuel Rico Gonzalez hits his great potential status, maybe at like 81, 82 overall, that finishing stat's going to go massively up. I don't need to train it. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm training up other people that need it more, like Mauricio Farias. That's my thought process out of that. Strength's going up, acceleration and sprint speed's just stupidly good right now. Dribbling's great at 84. I mean, you can't really ask for much more from the free agents list. Although, saying that, I probably had the greatest free agents list of all time in the last pre-season live stream. I'll put that link down in the description if anybody's interested, of course. Some of you might have already watched it, which is brilliant. Someone probably will have already been there watching the live stream as we signed players and sold players. Didn't sell any real big players though, I don't think. Adam Strauss, 63, gone up by 2. Yes, goalkeeper of 19 years of age. Goalkeeping kicking, 72 overall. And what a mistake this was. Now, if you go back to the January transfer window, the time where we were simulating all them games, you look at Adam Strauss's stats from when we were signing him. I was expecting a 65 overall plus. And this guy comes back worse than Hansen, worse than our second choice goalkeeper anyway. So he's like, middle of the road. No point of playing him. I'll tell you something. I've transfer listed both Strauss and Hansen in the live stream because we don't need him. We've got Muller wanting to come back. You know, we don't have a future with Strauss or Hansen at the club. Sadly, played 7 games, average rating of 6. 6. Not a good keeper. I'm really disappointed. This is one of the very few times where the global transfer network, without scouting anybody, has let me down big time. I expected just a better keeper in general. Nicolo Silvestri. What a very, very strange player this guy is. He overall wise, he's just superb. You can't really ask for much more. He's showing great potential. His stats are ridiculous. Agility's up to 80. But in game, he's just not showing it. He's probably the most disappointing player of this side. He's not the worst player. No. But the most disappointing. We were expecting a 72 overall performance from him. And he's just not delivering. I mean, could you imagine Malachias Jr. at 72 overall? He'd be stopping everything. This guy, he's really, really lackadaisical. Great word. How long? How precise. Nicolo Silvestri. Should we have a look at his stats? He's played 38 times, most of them off the bench. He's assisted twice. Not enough, in my opinion. Not scored a single goal as well. He's got absolutely no finishing qualities. Glenn Forrester scored once. Can't remember. Might have been in the simulation. Got some decent stats though. Sprint speed at 84. Ball control 78. I mean, looking at that, he's actually a better player than what we probably expected. Looking at them stats, he's probably a better player than what I really thought he actually was, because we've been playing him on the wing, and he's done a good job on the wing when needed. Made 3 assists. Scored 1 goal, 2 clean sheets. Obviously, you don't really count the clean sheets on the attacking players. But I'm thinking if we improve his finishing, he could be a decent striker. Although we are getting really crammed with strikers now. You know, decent player. For a 64 overall, he's good. He's alright. Abdallah Al-Shanawi. What a lad. Let's have another sip of that drink. The first few months with this kid was a nightmare. Like a proper, full-on, long-lasting nightmare. And then all of a sudden, he becomes decent. And his stats are still shocking. Now, even if I train, like the Malachias Juniors of this world, even if I train this guy, I think the best he can ever get to is about 70. And is it worth it? Probably not. Have we got better centre-backs? Yeah, we have. But it's not to say like this guy is not going to get forgotten. Because he's a historical player for this series. The fact that he was absolutely shit. Apologies for my language. You probably know in the streams my language is a bit more pungent. So it was terrible through the first months, and then he kicked himself up the backside. He started getting forward. He started defending properly, and then all of a sudden we got a really solid backup player that's pulled out some really solid backup performances. He played 19 times this season. Nagisa Suchiya, I like him. He's actually scored 4 goals this season. 2 assists as well. 30 games. Oh, just some interesting stats. Agility is his best stat, 78. And he's an agile, yeah. Mobility, that's the word that comes out when I think of Suchiya. Great hair is another thing that I think of when I think of Suchiya. I'm not right now thinking of getting rid of him. Simple as. The boat might have already set sail of getting rid of him because he is an iconic member of this side with that hair. And he scored some quality goals as well. Scored the first goal of last season, was it? He's just a nice guy to have around, isn't he? Luke Wright, centre-back at 65 overall. We just got some great centre-backs. And Luke Wright is no exception. He's gone up by 2. He's not very happy because he's probably not played that much. See, I've decided to play El Shaarawy, and that's really the reason why El Shaarawy should be a memorable character in this series, because he was just decent, consistent. Best attribute for Luke Wright, 77 on the jumping. Right, we're getting through this now. Perry shush baby. And that's it. Perry shush baby. Let's get on with it. James Duffy, 55 overall, gone up by 1. His best stat is jumping at 77, but everything else is terrible. And he is terrible. Transfer listed. And hopefully we get rid of him. Marvin Aguino. Yeah, just alright. Got him from Wycombe Wanderers, if you remember. He's played 17 games, most of them backups. If the first team got injured, tired from matches that they played in midweek or weekends, then I'd turn to Marvin Aguino, maybe even play him on the wing sometimes. His acceleration's alright. Usually it's the other way around. He's good sprint speed instead of acceleration. Agility up there at 80. Couldn't really feel his agility, to be honest. I thought it was a big lump. He's not a bad player to sign, really. I thought, yeah, for what we had available to us, we had Tom Matthews and this guy above 60 overall that we could actually buy. I thought it was a good signing from Wycombe Wanderers. Can sell him on for more money. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure we didn't sign him for 675,000. Maybe half of that. Oh, talking about Tom Matthews is the next one. Fantastic. So we can just flow into the next one. Tom Matthews came in from Bradford around the same time as Marvin Aguino came in from Wycombe Wanderers. You remember? That's a long time ago now. So into Tom Matthews. He's very happy because he's played a lot of time. And you know what? He's a very solid player. What a surprise. And It's alright, lads. I thought I'd ripped my chair because my nail is pretty sharp and I dragged it down the arm of the chair and I nearly shot myself. Seriously. Bit of a different texture. What an absolute fool I am, by the way. I'm going to wreck this chair and I spent so much on it. So much YouTube, buddy. What did I do? Why? Hashtag boycott Cutsy. 64 gone up by 4 for Tom Matthews. Just a solid centre-back. One of them players that are not agile, not mobile, not fast, but he's strong. And he did a big job. You know, when he's needed. Big tackles coming in. Big stand tackles. Injuries flying about the place. Limbs. Organs. Eye sockets. That sort of thing. His best stat, jumping at 78. Really? Jumping at 77, jumping at 77, jumping at 78. Alright. Very close, that stat, between the centre-backs. But that's really one of the best stats that you want from a centre-back. Tall and got good jumping. They're not going to get beaten in the air that easily, are they? Into David Torrejon-Moya, probably the most unlucky player that I've unfortunately had to manage through the last few series, to be honest, because looking at that player right there, you can't think of anybody better to put at left back in League One as well. He's a good player for League One. 66 overall. Yeah, I'll have some of that, please. And then all of a sudden, this 50 overall player comes along. Sorry, just bashed my keyboard now. I'm starting to break things. All of a sudden, this 50 overall comes along and just does a tremendous... Like, maybe he's not as good as Torrejon-Moya, but he seems to be in the right position all the time. And he seems to be stopping things a lot more than Torrejon-Moya. So right now, because of his usefulness, and the reason that I've already explained that he's in the right positions for us, he has to start, doesn't he? Ahead of Torrejon Moya. Surprising, but it has to happen. He's gone up 3. Ball control at 79, good for a left back. David Moore, his jumping is 77, but his strength's the biggest feature. And it's 80. This guy's played 17 games. Let's have a look at Torrejon Moya. Played 28 compared to 18 for Liam Rose. So he's played 10 more than Liam Rose. However, I'm expecting most of them games came from the simulation. Definitely came from the simulation. David Moore there, 17 games. But I have spread the love around the centre backs. Obviously, Macias being the main guy, and Laprovot coming in time to time. Thomas Hansen here, 18 games played, 78 goalkeeper kicking. That's a crazy stat, goalkeeper kicking. Don't know why that thing goes up a lot quicker than everything else, but there you go. 64, gone up by 4. And he has 3 clean sheets to his name. Morgan Shaw played twice. Can't even remember when he played. Really? No, can't remember at all. Invitational Cup apparently, so I didn't even play him. I didn't play with him. Just simulated that. Yeah. Average rating of 6.4. He didn't do anything, really. Went up by 4 though, didn't he? So there you go. He improved through the season that he didn't play. Jack Clark, 50 overall, gone up by 2. He's going to be one of them kind of mystery question things. The general knowledge, obscure questions, the pub quiz, the YSL quiz of 5 years' time. When I say, who scored a long shot on his debut and was never seen again? Jack Clark, Crewe Alexandra. Overall 50, gone up by 2. And accelerations and aggressions not bad for a guy of such height. I just really wanted him to be a little bit better on the weak foot and skill moves. Although saying that, I've very quickly realised that Stuckey has the same weak foot and skill moves as that guy, but also Stuckey's got history, and Stuckey definitely needs to return. This guy is going to have to be sacrificed. Although he doesn't really have a history with us, apart from that goal. Oh yes, Tashdemir. Murgat. Tashdemir. Overall of 67 gone up by 3. Award for the most difficult name to pronounce of the year. Agility and balance up to 82. I'm sorry for the Turkish actually listening to me right now, because I'm sure that name is pretty easy for you guys to pronounce, but for me it's an absolute nightmare, and I'm so sorry. I must be murdering it every time I say it on the episodes. But he's a good centre mid. He's like Wayne Hunt, but with potential, basically. I think I said that on the live stream. His valuation's nearly up to $1 million, and he played 20 times with 4 assists and 3 goals. So yeah, he played a bit more advanced than Silvestri, got more stats. And I've just realised that I've already been talking for at least 30 minutes. So, well, to be fair, we near down the bottom. And I said we are going to talk in length about these players. Kevin Ray here, central defensive midfielder, way better than Silvestri. He's played 25 times. Let me get that back. He's played 20... Oh, my days. He's played 25 times, scored twice, and assisted 5 times. That's exactly what Silvestri should be aiming for. 5 assists and 2 goals through 25 games. And his stats are good. His physicals are growing. His strength is remarkable at 76. I'm liking him. His long pass is interesting at 77. He's Magomed Shubin, sounds like a Pokemon. He is 66 overall through 14 games. He averaged 6.4, not very good at all. I'm sure the first time that I played him, he made the mistake for a very crucial goal as well. His best stat on there is his crossing at 77. So maybe this guy should actually play on the wing. You never know. I don't think I'll try him on the wing, to be fair. Mark Dooner. Yeah. Central defensive midfielder. Think he scored on his debut? Am I right in saying that? And there he is, 64 overall, gone up by 2, played 9 games, 1 assist in there as well, with 2 clean sheets. Average rating is terrible. But I still think he might have even done a better job than Silvestri when called upon. Here we go. Ferdinand Lapravoy, he played 27 times. This cherry's getting on my nerves. Clean sheet 5 times. Scored twice. Obviously. No, actually, he might have scored with me. I think I remember him scoring when I was controlling him, but for the other goal, for the second goal, it was definitely the simulation. Let's have a look at his stats. His best stats right there. His sprint speed's 82. That's absolutely crazy. If his acceleration was going up, we'd have a phenomenal player here. Strength at 81. Mad. Jumping 75. Douglas McCutcheon. Now we get into the really useless players. Invitational Cup. Played 1 time when I was simulating the pre-season. His best stat, 75 on the aggression. Nothing much. Billy Hughes is this... he's not even... Didn't even play in the pre-season tournament. How terrible is that? Best stat. Agility, 78. Malcolm Taylor, didn't play. Transfer listed. Best stat. Stamina, 71. Billy Martin, played 1 time in the Invitational Cup. Yay. Best stat. Sprint speed and stamina, 67 apiece. Peter Berry, played twice in League One. Oh yes. That acceleration stat is the only reason why he probably played twice in League One. I can't remember it. Honestly, I can't remember it, lads. I might not have even played him. Gotta be honest. I really don't like him because of the hair. The hair is just a mess. Archie Davis never played. Could you just remember when we had all the hopes for Archie Davis? That really good time where he was just phenomenal for us. And he's just gone to bits. Never played for us this season. Aidan Collins doesn't play either. Jumping 75, strength 73. And that is it. Now, let's just point out some of the very good players of this season. Donald Fanning, fantastic for the stats that he's got. Owen Thomas was a bit of a disappointment, not going to lie. Macias, really quality, consistent player. Malachias Jr., got to give credit for him. Liam Rose, I think maybe. Even Bonaventura is kind of chasing up to Liam Rose in the surprise of the season. Because Bonaventura, you kind of guessed it. And we kind of expected something to happen with him because we signed him for such an amount of money from Carpi. Liam Rose just came out of nowhere and he's knocked Torrejon Moya off the left back spot, first team. And that's just mad. That is really, really strange to think about that. But congratulations to him because he deserves it. Nils Bullock was really solid, to say his stats don't really match a winger's out of position, but yeah, he's doing well. The Farias Bonaventura partnership really worked out, and let's just take a look at them Bonaventura stats again, because he is one of the classic strikers. This series is going to get some decent names like Stuckey, obviously. I'm expecting legendary things from him. Bonaventura, another one. Squeezy. Bonaventura's come out the woodworks, and this is the absolute perfect example, the reason why we are doing the extreme rules. Because if we didn't move on Squeezy and Stuckey, which no one wanted, No one really wanted, did they? I didn't want it at all. But if we didn't move them on, then I wouldn't have found Bonaventura. Because he had no stated, he had no potential. So I weren't really interested in a guy like him. I just knew he was quick. And I was like, obviously, I've seen a striker with a bit of pace and it just tickles your fancies. So I got him in from Carpi. He played alright for the 6 months. I think it was 6 months that we had him on loan. I was like, right, we're going to do this. We're going to sign him. And what a signing. What a signing. I'm pretty sure, and I am going to do it, lads. This is not pissing in the wind because we know he's a very good player. I'm going to get him to 80 overall. That's a goal of mine. I know it's achievable. And he probably could easily top 80 overall, but we need to get him to 80 overall at least. Because it would be criminal if we couldn't do that. Same goes to Stuckey. That's going to be a bit more of a challenge because he's a left mid. But I'll try and get him to 80 overall left mid-wise and then it'll look good. Payar, I mean, great assist. It was a fantastic assist from Payar. But it's too early to call, and it's really about them physicals. Is he going to grow in them physicals? Manuel Rico Gonzalez, a lot more to come from him. This season has been disappointing, not going to lie, but what are you going to expect from 59 finishing? And that's the end of the season. Started with 54. Adam Strauss, terrible signing. It was alright when they played him in net, but he was still a terrible signing. Nicolo Silvestri, disappointment. Forrester, alright. El Shinawi, legendary. And that's it. Shush Baby. What else? Who else deserves a little shout? Tashtamir with Herrera up front. They were a force. This is Tashtamir with some hair as well. Amazing. Look at that profile with hair. Those were brighter times with Tashtamir, and then he lost his hair when he was 12. Kevin Ray. He was alright. Lad Pravot, I feel a bit sorry for him, but his physicals are all over the place, really. Acceleration's not growing, and reactions are 57. He's gonna be a good backup, isn't he? But like Torrejon Moya, he might not have deserved his place being taken. But Donald Fanning came, and Donald Fanning's got a great name. And then on his debut, remember Donald Fanning's debut when he's taken down 2 players in 20 minutes. One's got injured. Oh, Pennington-esque. Pennington will be proud. Well, what else? I think that's it. That is it for the little squad report that we do at the end of each series now. Yes, we finished the first one. I hope you've enjoyed it. And that's basically all from me. This has been Cutsy. Thank you for watching this episode of Youth Squad Legends. If you've enjoyed it, then give the video a like. And I'll see you next time.